Story 1. Hid my short ex's vape and coffee on top of the fridge. My 38 female, ex, 40 male, was a high-functioning alcoholic and couldn't get out of bed without a lot of coffee and nicotine. After months of suspicion, I finally used his thumb to open his phone while he was passed out. I discovered he was still very involved with his ex-GF, who broke into his house and tried to assault me early in our relationship. I was pretty scrappy in my younger years, so she fucked around and found out. That was also a glorious moment, but I digress. I hid his coffee, vapes, and cigarettes on top of his fridge, which was actually in plain sight for someone who isn't the size of a garden gnome. That little man ran around his house like an angry elf for 30 minutes, until he had the wherewithal to just take his ass a couple blocks away to buy more. Each second of his panic was so satisfying to watch. When he finally left for the store, I packed my things and bounced for good. Edit: no, he was not a little person medically, he was 5 feet 4 inches. By request, the X story. BF never changed the keypad lock, and after a day of drinking, the ex-GF barged in and found me cooking dinner in his pajamas. Ex-GF charged me and I clotheslined her. She was fine, just a damaged ego. Story 2. Break into a park to play Pokemon? You won't get your coins. Okay, I don't know if you'll exactly call this revenge, but it's definitely petty. So I'm 20 without a job because of disabilities, so I play a lot of Pokemon Go to keep me motivated to get out of bed and out of the house. Well, there's this couple, I think it's a guy and a girl, who have been breaking into my local park after hours to knock out all the gyms. It was going on for weeks until I had an idea. I have a secondary account which is mod on my PC, so I can change my location to whatever I want and move with a joystick. I did it to get Pokemon that only were in certain places, but for about 2 weeks I wait about 10 minutes after they do it and then knock all theirs out. I mean, knowing they aren't getting their 50 coins is enough for me. I've been going this for a few weeks, and just in case you are wondering, which is a shocker because I doubt anyone will care about this post, I started doing this because then breaking into the park made it so I wasn't getting my 50 coins. Edit: I knew I was going to get hate for this post, so I really don't care what you call me, so go ahead, but realize there is a rule about harassment. Story 3. Petty perfect Christmas tree. This might be the pettiest thing I've ever done, but man did it feel satisfying. Happened last Christmas time. My colleague had a habit of borrowing things from my desk. I never really minded if he put them back and refilled them if emptied. For some reason though, he never put the stapler back in place and always left it in the middle of the desk. I told him that if he took it he should put it back. He said okay, and didn't put it back the next time either. I confronted him again and he said, you know, things don't always need to be so tidy, and I wanted to leave some work for you. I spitefully remembered this sentence, it etched into my brain. Come Christmas time, my colleague started shopping for trees again. For some reason he is super nitpicky when it comes to trees, and they literally need to be perfect. It's like a tic he has and he can't help it, it's almost comical. Usually he finds a tree that's as close to perfect as it gets and then trims it to perfection at home. After a week of searching he finally found the tree, trimmed it to perfection, and talked about it for about an hour at work. I found an excuse to go over to his place. We had dinner, and when he wasn't in the room I clipped a branch off the tree in a way that it was noticeable, but not without inspection. The next day at work he ranted about how his kids messed up the tree and he had to spend 2 hours correcting it. Mind you, it was already decorated, lol. I simply went, oh Alex, that wasn't your kids, but you know, things don't always need to be so tidy, and I wanted to leave some work for you. I still have the branch and it definitely will be part of the decoration this year. TLDR messed with my crazy colleague's Christmas tree because he left my workplace untidy and was snarky about it. Story 4. Move our beach stuff? Have fun in the sun. What's up, Reddit? So I'm on vacation with my wife and her family. It's our first time vacationing with her parents, sister, and her sister's boyfriend. To be completely upfront, I don't really get along with my mother-in-law, but this was absolutely brilliant by her, and she absolutely won this day. We're at a beach resort that has little palm tree huts up and down the beach. People usually drop their stuff to reserve their little hut and either sleep in a little more, or go eat breakfast and then come back. Shade is at a premium, so we wake up early cause I burn easily and we want to avoid the Sunday 7 a.m. We, the 6 of us, drop our stuff in 2 huts side by side. 2 huts will accommodate 6 people with adequate shade, and then go eat breakfast. We come back around 8 a.m. and behold, our stuff from 1 hut has been unceremoniously thrown on a couple of beach chairs in the sun, and been taken by a couple who shrugs when my father-in-law confronts them. I'm pissed. There are kids around, I'm on vacation, but it was all I could not to drag this douchebag out of our spot. I played sports growing up, work out daily, and I'm bigger than most everyone I meet. My wife and her mother say it's no big deal, it's cool, do they mind if we share the hut with them, so we can still sit next to each other? The couple says yes. I'm still incensed, but whatever. Cue petty revenge. My mother-in-law and sister's boyfriend proceed to take the shady part of the hut. As it's early in the morning, it's not a big deal. Douchebag couple are enjoying the morning sun, which is quite pleasurable. The day continues, the sun gets hotter, and douchebag couple doesn't have room to move into the shade. Noon rolls around, the couple leaves to go eat lunch, and my SBF move their chairs slightly further into the sun while giving themselves a little more shade. 15 minutes later, it's clear they're uncomfortable being baked completely in the oppressive sun, while SBF are cool in the shade. They grab their shit and go. Crisis averted. I didn't have to kick any ass, and I gained a whole new level of respect for my Story 5. Lie about me in front of me and my colleague, get the smallest room in the hotel. Disclaimer, I'm typing this on my phone after being stuck in a train for 9 hours. There will be grammatical errors and I will be too lazy to correct them. I used to work at the reception of a 4-star hotel in Paris. A decent part of our client base are here for business. They usually stay 1 to 3 nights a week every week or month. This particular day around 6 p.m. my coworker went for a smoke, leaving me at the front desk by myself. And I got a phone call, so I answered it. While I was on the phone, a regular guest arrives. Seeing him, I salute him with a nod, to which he replied with the same, and got back to my call. Etiquette would have me put the call on hold, but I was closing the deal and already collecting important data, credit card details, so I decided to finish the call and then take care of my guest. My colleague came back and start taking care of him. I hung up somewhat 30 seconds after she came back. And here goes the guest saying that I left him to wait 10 minutes without even greeting him. The call history read, on call for 5 minutes, and when this fucker arrived I was already over 3 minutes into it. Now let's get some context about this respectable piece of shit. He and his colleague never made the reservation themselves, their equally horrible assistant did it for them. Always contesting pricing or method of payment even when there was a contract with the hotel for a short period. We ended the contract later on. Needless to say that I was fed up with these people. Here comes the petty revenge. Out of the 87 room, we had 24 classic rooms sized around 15 square meters. Except for one that is 11. I gave him that night this very small room, the smallest in the whole hotel. And for the next 3 years, I worked there. Every time his name came up I would put him there. Even if to do it I had to juggle the rooming for 2 hours. Me working there, he would never see another room. Even after COVID and not seeing him for 1 year, I didn't forget that one lie and kept giving him the small room. TLDR, rude guest lied about my work and got the smallest room for the 3 following years. Last story. Short sibling revenge. Just read another post about someone taking revenge on a short ex and remembered this from a few years ago. Straight out of high school I went to be a full-time nanny for my sister, as she had 3, now 4, kids and wanted to go back to school. At the time, their parenting style was very lax, except they'd ask me to enforce rules on the kids that they, the parents, wouldn't. This led to a lot of fighting with the kids, until I gave up. One particular fight was about my oldest niece. She was old enough where her pacifiers had begun to hurt her teeth, so her parents told me, no pacifiers, except they never followed the rule. The moment she started screaming, yes, screaming, she would get what she wanted. The thing is, in the tallest of my siblings, even my, then, so I just started hiding them at the top of the closet everyone used, where they couldn't see them on a shelf. They'd buy more and up they go. Eventually, they refused to keep buying them and had to put up with my niece screaming at them, much like myself on a daily. My sister ended up getting a divorce before a year was up, and while moving we found all the pacifiers I had hidden. She thought they had done so well with weaning my niece off of them. Nope, she was just too short to enable her daughter anymore.